Jon Jones beat up an old man for 15 minutes last night, and today we are going to talk about that fight. All right, so just last night, UFC 309 took place. The main event was Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the UFC heavyweight title. Now, Jon Jones ended up winning that fight via third round TKO with a spinning back kick to the body. It was awesome. First off, we're going to talk about the fight, how Jon and Stipe both looked, and then we're also going to talk about just how good this win is for Jon Jones's legacy, considering how old Stipe looked. And we're also going to talk about what's next for Jon. Is it Pereira? Is it Aspinall? We're going to get into it, okay? So first off, Jon Jones wins via third round TKO, spinning back kick to the body. Let's take a look at the stats first off. And as we can see, Jon Jones had landed almost 2.5 times Stipe Miocic's total strike count. Jon Jones, this was mostly one-way traffic for this fight. Stipe had a couple of good moments. He landed a couple of good 1-2s on Jon, and he was unable to follow up, especially when Jon Jones sticks his fingers out in his opponent's face to keep them from advancing forward. But we take a look at these stats right here. Jon Jones, 104 strikes to 42, 1 takedown to 0. It was a takedown in the very first round where Jon Jones kind of foot swept Stipe and then got on top and got him with some vicious elbows. I actually believe that 2 of the judges gave that as a 10-8 round. Let me check. Yeah, Jon Jones actually did end up getting a 10-8 on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards in the first round. Sal D'Amato and Derek clearly gave him a 10-8, where Chris Lee gave him a 10-9. Now, Jon Jones, 96 significant strikes to 37 for Stipe. He had a knockdown with the body kick that ended up finishing the fight. Jon Jones looked really good. I'm not going to sit here and say that he looked fat and slow. He does obviously look slower than he did at light heavyweight, but he's 30 pounds heavier. He's probably 20 pounds heavier in cage because he was 235. He was probably 220 on fight night when he was at 205, weighing at 205, then rehydrate. He was probably around 205 because he wasn't like the world's biggest light heavyweight from a weight standpoint, definitely from a height and reach, but not necessarily from a bulk standpoint. There's a lot of guys that get higher than 220 after weighing in. So Jon did look fantastic. He was working that inside low kick really good aggressive wrestling in the first round. And Jon just gives you so many different things to worry about while you're in the cage with him, because you got the oblique kicks where he's trying to stomp on the front of your knee. He's got the calf kicks, the inside leg kicks, side kicks to the body, spinning kicks. He throws elbows. He's got takedowns and submissions. His ground and pound is top control. There's really just too much for somebody like Stipe, who's 42 years old and nearly 4 years out of the cage, nearly 5 years since a win. And that's way too much for somebody like Stipe to handle, because it's not like, Jon Jones was out for a long time. Jon Jones has not shown ring rust in his career. He's come back from long layoffs, from injuries, suspensions, failed drug tests, yada, 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 arrests, the whole thing. And he's looked good. He beat DC. OSP was kind of a close fight, but Jon Jones does not tend to show ring rust. He's had long layoffs in his career before and come back and won. He's won obviously every fight in his career. Stipe looked, aside from being out of the cage and looking ring rusty, he also did just look old and slow. His mobility was terrible. He looked like he was limping most of fight week. I don't know if that's from a previous injury or that's just how he walks, but all through embedded, press conference, even his walk to the cage before the fight, it looked like he was slightly limping. So that's just old Stipe. He looked ring rusted. He looked god awful. That's part of why I'm not going to hop on the Jones Glaze train that everyone's on, saying he's going to beat Tom Aspinall because he beat Stipe. Tom Aspinall's 30 and in his athletic prime and 15 to 20 pounds bigger than Jon. I think Tom Aspinall's around 250. Jon was 237 for this fight. I still am going to hold strong in my opinion that Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, honestly. Jon looked great, but because of the things that I mentioned, I can't really give him a full pat on the back for this type of win. It was a fight that we didn't want to see. He's ducking their interim champion. I'm going to make a separate video about everything he's saying about who he's fighting next. He did look fantastic. I won't take that away from him, especially with a long layoff. Something that I came away from this fight with is that Jon would absolutely murk Alex Pereira. And Alex Pereira is my favorite fighter. I'm not trying to glaze Jones. I told you I won't do that. But just objectively, former middleweight, natural light heavyweight, moving up to heavyweight to fight somebody like Jon Jones, who is a big guy, not a full-sized heavyweight like a Surreal Gone or a Tom Aspinall or a Curtis Blades or a Francis Ngannou or a Derek Lewis, guys like that. He's more in that like Jailton Almeida range where he's like an undersized heavyweight in that like mid 230 range. I still think he shreds Alex Pereira. I think the first round that Stipe was able to survive, that 10-8 round, I don't think Alex Pereira makes it out of that round. And it has nothing to do with Alex Pereira's toughness or anything like that. It just comes from a skill standpoint and size standpoint. I don't think that he would have the strength or grappling ability to keep Jones off of him for more than a minute. I think it looks competitive for 45 seconds. Pereira lands a big punch. Maybe it takes a little bit longer because Jon is respecting Pereira's power. But I think at the end of the day, Jon Jones would still absolutely shred Pereira. And that's why you got to make the Aspinall fight. Tom versus Jon is the biggest heavyweight fight in history. I'm telling you, you have to make that fight. It's what the fans want. Dana, give Jon the $25 million or whatever that he wanted for the Francis Ngannou fight. Give him it for this one, because I swear the fan base is more behind this fight right now than they were about Francis Ngannou. I feel that. Maybe Dana's a marketing genius for playing all this pro-Jones stuff to where the fans got sick of it and started backing Tom. Maybe Dana's just really manipulating us in the most entertaining way possible, where we get the biggest heavyweight fight of all time after thinking that we weren't going to get it at all. So Jon looked great. Stipe looked old. That's why I can't say too much about Jon's performance. I was kind of expecting this. I was expecting him to get it done earlier too. Jon looked good. Stipe looked old. Jon whoops on Pereira and struggles with Aspinall, I'll say. So that's my thoughts, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content, become a channel member today by clicking the join button on our channel homepage or the link down below this video. If you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, go check out my podcast, What's Up Bro, with Wyatt and Bo, in the link down below. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.